bring in Jason Miller. He served as senior advisor on all of President Trump's campaigns and a senior advisor to the Trump transition team. Jason, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So Greenland, the visit, not, super warm. Not a hugely warm reception for our American delegation, but the vice president seemed to describe in his remarks there the president's thinking on this and sort of frame his logic around the security of that region. How do you think this ends up? Where does it end? Do we end up making a deal with them in some way, or are the people in Greenland, right to be concerned that this could turn, to a military discussion?
Well, I think ultimately President Trump has laid out something that can be a win-win scenario. And whether there's a direct acquisition or whether the people of Greenland move toward independence and then we're able to work out something with the United States and Greenland, keep in mind that the people of Greenland feel like they're being very underserved by Denmark, which controls Greenland. But with the people in Denmark, look at Greenland and say, why are we sending $500 million a year to Greenland to protect the area, to go and provide them services, things of that nature. So it's a lose-lose when it comes to the people of Denmark and Greenland. But with the United States stepping in, you think about the economic development that the U.S. can help bring. You think about the minerals. You think about the opportunities with space. But also, the most important thing that Vice President Vance was talking about, what President Trump has been saying, is the security aspect. Now that that's become a critical shipping lane, because the Russians and the Chinese have been so aggressive up toward the Arctic Circle, that we have to have that presence there. Otherwise, it's only going to be the adversaries, you'd say, who are in control of that part of the world.
So maybe the language gets a little softer in terms of spelling out the incentives rather than the sort of have to have it. Do you think that ends up happening?
Well, I think two things can be true at the same time. I think it is important that we go in and ultimately, whether it's acquire or whether we work out a good partnership with the people of Greenland. But this is mission critical. The world is changing and the importance of that region is now so important. But what President Trump is realizing is that we have to go and make these big moves, because if we just sit on our hands and do nothing, we're going to wake up and see that the Russians and Chinese control that area. So we have to go and do this. So I like the move. I like the posture. And there are a number of different options of how we get to a win. But when we talk about how do you go and grow the economy, grow the country, Greenland's a great target.
Let's talk about the Democrats. There's a new book set for release next week titled Fight Inside the Wildest Battle for the White House. It claims Democrats held, quote, hush-hush talks around President Biden's withdrawal from the race as early as 2023, and that Harris aides strategized around the possibility that Biden might die in office. So as the Bidens sort of had this trial balloon, piece in, I think it was an NBC Digital piece, suggesting they might want to come back onto the political stage. Now you've got these stories coming out, tell-all book coming out. Where do you see this going?
Well, a couple of things. I think the Democrats are really at a crisis point within their party's movement. New polling that is out shows that right now Democrats in Congress are at about a 29% favorable, but 57% unfavorable. So think about that for a moment. Democrats in Congress are twice as unpopular as they are popular. Shows that the entire brand is damaged. But I think what this book is going to expose is the fact that everybody was in on the joke, Jackie. Everybody knew that Joe Biden was effectively brain dead, that he wasn't the person who was running the country, and the Democratic leadership covered it up. And unfortunately, a lot of members of the media covered it up as well. So I can't wait. I'll be buying this when it comes out.
And with really no time left, I just think it's kind of notable that the person we're still talking about is Joe Biden, even though he has effectively stepped back from politics, and there is no heir apparent to the party yet.
Well, hold on. But you have Jasmine Crockett, who seems to be making quite a name for herself. I'm not sure if that's necessarily their best option. You have Tim Walz, who I guess
he's trying.
He puts the buff in buffoonery, so he's out there. So Democrats don't have many good options. I mean, Chuck Schumer is literally the least popular politician in the entire country. But let's not forget this one critical thing. President Trump is at his highest popularity levels right now because he secured the border, because he went and he's cleaning up our streets, because he's bringing deregulation back to the economy. People finally excited and in really good spirits about the direction of the country. Democrats can't say the same thing.
All right. Jason Miller, always good to talk to you. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.